which quarterback not named Patrick Mahomes is most likely to win MVP next season? We're going to go round table, give our picks for MVP. Dehls, who are you going with? 2023 season, MVP, go Mahomes.
You see, the people don't know this, but we started the show late today because he was getting real disrespectful. He was getting real disrespectful about one of my guys. One of my guys I told you about. Jalen Hurts.
Oh, I thought it was Trey Lance.
Now listen. Last year, I understand, we had this little back and forth about Mahomes and Jalen Hurts, who was really the MVP. In the last couple of games when Hurts goes down to injury, Mahomes was able to steal it. But this was Hurts' MVP to win. And this year, he gets his get back. And listen, Joel, I already know you were foaming at the mouth, waiting for him to fail. That's why after those first 2 postseason games, when he struggled or, the team was winning, but he wasn't doing anything, Joel was up here riding his high horse. Oh, the team, it's a stacked roster, this and that. Then the Super Bowl came around, and he had one of the best performances we have seen in a loss in Super Bowl history. I mean, 370 total yards. 4 total touchdowns. Was it better than that completion percentage?
Tom Brady
he put up better numbers than Mahomes across the board. He's going to ride this momentum into next season and keep it going. Jalen Hurts, 2023, 2024 MVP.
That just means we win.
Listen, Dehls, I think that's a good pick.
That's
a good pick. And I can't knock it because in the Super Bowl, Jalen Hurts, that was the only game in the playoffs where he actually had to be extraordinary, and he was extraordinary.
That's what he does.
But listen, that's your guy. Man. That's your guy. Trey Lance was your guy as well.
He keeps throwing that straight. Yeah, Brock Purdy's better.
At least
was your guy. Relax, ain't talking about boy.
At least Zach Wilson, he was my guy. I got to see him be.
Trey Lance has 3 starts.
When it comes to Trey Lance,
what are we doing?
Your quarterback is getting taken over by the last pick in the draft. That's embarrassing.
He's got 3 starts.
Brock Purdy's better than Zach Wilson. Also respect him.
Under Kyle Shanahan's system, yes.
Comfortably.
No. You put Zach Wilson in Kyle Shanahan's system, you know what's like going down. Listen, Dehls, I think that's a good pick. But unfortunately, you're going to be wrong again because he didn't win MVP last year. And not only did he not win MVP, he could have got his get back. But you know who? That bad man, Mahomes won MVP, a Super Bowl, and Super Bowl MVP. If they had a championship game MVP like they do for the Western Conference and East Conference Finals, Mahomes would have won that too. He would have won every single MVP there is to win last year. So you better respect Mahomes. There's a lot of disrespect coming from you. My MVP, I just got to mention some guys first, man. Because I feel so hurt not mentioning my guy, man.
6 honorable mentions.
Joe Burrow, best passer rating over the last 2 seasons. He's second in MVP odds currently.
He had the best passer rating last year?
Over the last 2 seasons, he has the best passer rating.
Oh, he just combined 2 seasons. Got it. If you would have just said last season, that wouldn't have been true.
Or Aaron Rodgers.
Why? Because the guy who didn't play a full season is supposed to get the number 1 spot? I don't think so. I don't think you got to play the full season to get that honorary mention.
Interesting. Okay, continue.
The player I'm going with, I looked at him. He's not even top 5 in odds within these quarterbacks, man. He has the same odds as Justin Fields. Respect to Justin Fields, but he's not going to be MVP. I'm going with Trevor Lawrence. He's going to be my MVP this year. Over his last 9 games, 15 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 69% completion percentage, 104 passer rating, 4th in EPA per play, and 2nd in success rate, only behind Patrick Mahomes. That's the entire second half of the season. You saw what Lawrence did in the playoffs. I'm a forget the first half of the Chargers game. You saw what he did in the second half. 4 touchdowns. It was historical. A historical 1/2 performance by him. The addition of Calvin Ridley is going to open up this offense so much. And what better player to bet my money on, to put my stock in than a player who is being coached up by a coach who made Carson Wentz a damn near MVP. He was about to be MVP in 2017. I think Doug Peterson's going to do the same thing for Trevor Lawrence. You're adding an offensive weapon. This is his 2nd year in the system. The Jaguars check their schedule. It's easy peasy.
It is a light schedule.
And he's going to win MVP this year. I got Trevor Lawrence winning it all.
It could be the 1 seed.
That division's dog shit. That's like 6 wins. Could you imagine a year where just think back to a couple years ago when players like Dak Prescott, Tua, Justin Fields were being considered favorites over a player like DeShaun Watson. Can you imagine that when DeShaun's at his best? We're talking about NFL MVP odds. My pick is DeShaun Watson. I think with the offense that he has, Nick Chubb, Njoku has emerged, DPJ, they just picked up Elijah Moore. They still have the steady, reliable, consistent Amari Cooper. You still have Nick Chubb. The defense is elite. And Trevor Lawrence may have the easy schedule, but what's going to favor DeShaun Watson is when he outplays pretty much every quarterback in his division. Respect to Lamar. Respect to Joe Burrow. When he outplays every quarterback that he beats, they have a great record.
Kenny Pickett?
No. This is levels. Come on, let's be serious. My MVP is, and this is plus 3,000 odds, so this is a steal. But if DeShaun Watson is back to the form I think he's going to be at, which before he missed some time with, we're not going to speak on that situation. He was one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. His ability to do it with his legs and with his arm was unprecedented. Now he's back. He got the reps, and you saw him in practice the other day. He was throwing bombs. I know you see the vid, Dehls.
You saw the highlights.
You saw the vid, Dehls. It looked real beautiful.
Stop it like you weren't gushing over some Rodgers highlights throwing to like
fire.
But
my pick for MVP, I think is going to be DeShaun Watson. I think I'm going to pick him. Plus 3,000 odds. His team is stacked. It really is up to him. If he's back to form, the Cleveland Browns can be a dangerous team in the AFC. So my pick is definitely DeShaun Watson.
If you had any doubt who my most valuable player was going to be, just refer back to earlier in the show when I told you we were going to talk about this a little later. It's Mr. Tua Tagovailoa.
I thought you would pick a good player.
Oh, it's funny you say that because last year I told you guys that he was going to play great, and he did. And he exceeded all your expectations.
You tell me. I wasn't here.
Oh, no, you're done. You're done. Told me he wasn't a starting level quarterback. Told me that he wasn't good.
I did not tell you that.
I'm talking about the table, River. I don't know if I want to dap you anymore because you're supposed to be part of Fin Fam. Yes.
I like Waddle and shit.
Congrats. It means nothing to me. 3,500 yards last year, 28 touchdowns to 8 interceptions. Yeah, you mentioned it. Missed some time. Imagine what the stats would look like if he didn't miss those 4 games. You want to talk about a guy who led the league in passer rating. Number 2 in EPA, Joel's favorite stat that there is in the game, of course. So to be number 2 to Patrick Mahomes, the guy who allegedly will be the MVP again.
Favorite. He is the favorite.
Correct. But I'm going to go with Tua because I look at the way that he has put the work in this offseason. You see it, the results in his body. He's coming in more bulky, ready for this upcoming season, understanding that's a grueling season, needs to put a little bit more weight on. That's exactly what he did. Tyreek Hill, of course, Jalen Waddle, Devon Shane. We're talking about one of the fastest offenses in the game. We're seeing that this offensive line, pretty similar to last year. Connor Williams is right now sitting out due to a contract issue, even though he just signed his contract last year. Kind of lost me with that one. But overall, I just believe in the progression of Tua Tagovailoa. We saw it. This past season was a preview. Just a little trailer to the full-fledged Oscar performance that we're about to see in 2023, 2024. It's about to be magical.
Have you seen in practice they have a camera on his helmet so that
Mike can see his eyes?
That's very tough.
Very.
Never seen that before.
No, Brady used to do it, bro.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I haven't seen that.
Mike McDaniel's trying to make it as easy as it is for Tua, so he has a lot of control within that system.
You say that because it's crazy. It's funny. The big issue was that Tua can't throw the ball long. Yeah, that's a concern, man. You have Tyreek, you have Waddle. How can he be your quarterback when you have these receivers and they can't push the ball down the field? Okay, X that narrative. Dude can't play in cold weather games. X that narrative. This guy can't be a starting level quarterback. X that narrative.
What cold weather game was he good in?
Buffalo Bills.
He wasn't good in that game.
Yes, he was.
He had a negative EPA, bro. Just go look at it.
It's not even. We're talking about the two biggest plays of the game are plays that Waddle made.
Derek Carr is plus 4,500.
I was going to ask, who is your under the radar if you guys didn't pick some? We all picked some. I guess Tua prize the longest odds, a plus 1,400.
No, it's DeShaun.
DeShaun was 3,000.
3,000.
Yeah, that's nuts. Who's an under the radar?
Long shot. All right, this is insane. If I do
I think
firmly
it has to
believe,
be Derek Carr.
It's Daniel Jones.
No.
Russell Wilson plus 3,500.
There it is, brother.
Jordan Love plus 3,500.
I would love a skill position player to win it. That's why I feel like long shot. My first immediate thought would be Jettis.
He's the only one.
Another
Jettis
one.
Plus 10,000.
This is insane for the fact that he is a rookie, but I believe Bijan Robinson, man, with the way that he's about to
for MVP,
basically control the offense. Running backs, the last skill position player to win the MVP was a running back. It also happened to be one of the greatest seasons that we've ever seen in our lifetimes in Adrian Peterson. Exactly. And with this division, it's not crazy to think that Atlanta could win the division if he's the best player, if he puts up historic numbers. Yeah. But of course,
I'm going to shoot you a flyer. Okay. Brock Purdy's at plus 7,500.
I swear to God, that if I'm going for a long shot, it'd be Brock Purdy because that's going to be a team that's going to have the first or second best record in the NFC.
Have 11 wins, 12
He's going
to
put up the numbers.
Russell Wilson, man. Don't sleep.
No, don't listen.
Don't sleep.
Trey Lance cool, and I would never disrespect, you know what I'm saying? But Brock Purdy, man, he's
in. He's going to start.
If he starts, he throws like 30 TDs and like.
Who would you rather invest in, Jordan Love or Brock Purdy?
No, it'd still be Jordan Love.
You'd rather invest in Jordan Love than Brock Purdy.
Higher ceiling, more money.
Higher ceiling.
Isn't Jordan Love like $14?
He is, and Brock Purdy is $9.
Yeah, sure.
9? I just think, I don't know.
I think I'd invest in Purdy. I like the situation more.
I think Purdy's always going to have his peak, though, or like a cap on his ceiling. I think Love's ceiling is really high. So if he does, I would probably gamble. Gambling.
I'm shocked to hear that, but okay.
No, I love Purdy. I think Purdy's amazing, but I also understand he has to.
So you think Jordan Love can be amazing?
I do think Jordan Love can be amazing. I just don't think he will be.
You don't think he can?
So why are you going to invest in him if you don't think
Because I'm a gambler, so I got to gamble on the chance. You know what I'm saying? But
I don't know yet. Verdict side out.
But Purdy,
I need to see it. Look, you're big. I need to see it, guy. That's me with Jordan Love. I need to see it.
You know, Dehls, last year when Tua had his worst stretch of the season.
Kyler Murray up here?
Yeah, I don't know.
Come back midseason, change
Weeks
the Cardinals.
11 through 18, because, you know, Tua had a cupcake schedule early on, and that's a big reason why the EPA and efficient numbers were amazing. They were inflated by games versus the Lions and et cetera. Like
and Baltimore.
You know, bad teams.
Don't forget Baltimore.
Like Houston as well. He had a lot of dropped interceptions versus Houston.
Mm-hmm.
Weeks 11.
It was actually the Steelers that.
Weeks 11 through 18 versus Texans too.
Concussion.
Weeks 11 through 18, Tua was 28th in EPA per play. Wasn't very good. No. And it's because he was facing tougher defenses. Well, Dehls, you want to know who has the third toughest schedule in the NFL this year?
Who is it?
The Miami Dolphins.
Oh, good. I want that.
So when we talking about the Dolphins and the schedule they're going to play against, oh, man. You know, I hope that the worst player that you've named at this table actually has a chance to even be considered within the top 5 of the discussion.
Remember when we had this exact same conversation last year and you laughed at me?
I remember when you brought out your notebook prematurely week 2 and then you didn't talk about Tua after that.
Week 10 plus. What do you mean?
He was after the Baltimore game.
He was great for 10 weeks.
And nothing happened.
And then he got hurt.
How did the season finish? He was horrible.
He got hurt.
In the latter in December, he was horrible.
He was playing through concussions.
Before Green Bay, he had 2 straight stinkers.
Again, he had a concussion before that. That was his third.
He didn't have, but I'm talking about the stretch when he played.
I gotcha.
San Francisco and the Chargers. He was not hurt. He was just dog shit.
He was coming off his second concussion.
No, he wasn't.
Yes,
he suffered.
His second concussion was against the Bengals.
Yes, that was on Thursday Night Football.
Correct.
He came back against the Steelers.
Correct, and he was not good against the Steelers.
Yes, but what I'm saying is that his second concussion was weeks before the San Fran and Chargers games. He wasn't injured no more.
You still feel the remnants, especially when it's your second of the season. And then he got a third and shut it down.
So we're using that, really? So that's the excuse for not being good.
I think it's definitely both. I think you can look at concussions. That's going to have an impact on it. But it's also, I don't think, a coincidence that he played a relatively easy schedule.
He played tougher teams and started to be
and then he played some real defenses, and he struggled mightily in some of those games.
It's crazy how we look at every sport, and coaching matters, right? Coaching matters. Against the Charger, whose defense is not good at all, they schemed an excellent game against McDaniel's his offensive scheme, and he got absolutely locked.
Yep.
That wasn't on Tua. They simply had no answer.
They did. The answer was to throw to the boundaries, and Tua wasn't attempting that throw.
Nothing was working because the guys could not get off the line. They were playing press, and it was too much.
Versus the Chargers, they were open. The adjustment was they started sending receivers out to the boundary, and just Tua does not throw outside the numbers.
And the offensive line really was poor, too. But, again, he was doing with the match of 3 concussions.
Kirk Cousins is plus 5,000.
Yeah, that they're stealing your money.
So hold on. Let me ask you, just unbiasedly.
So we're gonna blame that.
So unbiasedly, Riff, Dehls.
Yes.
The concussion versus Cincinnati happened in week 4.
Okay.
He faced San Fran week 13. I'm blaming week 4 on week 13 him playing bad. So that means versus Detroit, Chicago, Cleveland, Houston, the 4 games he was amazing. What?
I'm with you. Listen, you told me week 13, right, against San Fran. He had a bad game against San Fran.
And week 14 as well.
Against the Chargers. I'm more so blaming coaching for that one. On top of Tua, bad performance as well. No doubt. Both can coexist. After that, the Bills game, he performed well, and then he had another concussion.